Okay, so this is about stubborn muscle groups and why some muscle groups, depending on person to person, because I just spoke to a client, some muscle groups just don't grow. And you know what's weird? Usually the muscle groups that don't grow or who is not sensitive to growth are usually very strong muscles. For instance, I just spoke to my client about this. Both of us have the same thing. We have very strong biceps, like really, really strong biceps, but they don't grow as fast as my chest would grow or my triceps, or like you don't really see that difference. And what can you do, right? So there's a few things I believe what people do. The only thing people would think about is, okay, if my biceps are not growing, then I have to train harder. But I believe, I have a theory. I actually think if you train them less, hear me out, train them less in frequency, meaning you're not training them 2-3 times a week. And it can go by both ways. I'm gonna tell you why, I'm telling you how. But if you're really like you're already training on high volume, right? Like you're doing 20 sets per week on your biceps, okay? Then I believe you should actually drop that. Drop the frequency in which you're training your biceps. Any muscle group, I'm just referring to one. And then try to do less sets, more intensity in the rep ranges, right? If you're doing 8 to 12 reps, really like fight through those reps, right? You should only be able to do like 12 reps. It like if you do more than that, you should like struggle to get your arms up. You know what I mean? Like do everything you can to make that set as hard as you can, and only train for 45 minutes. Right? Do like 3 or 4 sets for the biceps, and then you're gone. Now on the other side, if you're training with low frequency, high intensity, low volume, maybe you should do the other thing then, right? Maybe you should amp up your volume a little bit. Maybe you should do 20 sets a week for the muscle group that you're focusing on. Maybe dedicate 2 days on that muscle group. Maybe even sometimes hit a Saturday and only dedicate one day just focusing on that. It is, look, the thing you gotta think about too, when we talk about high reps and low reps, this is just a theory. I do not have all the knowledge around this, and I don't even know if it's a fact. But sometimes you do things that is not based on science. Like you'll get people just cheating their reps and they'll still look freaking good. But here's the thing. I do believe the sarcolemma or the sarcoplasm, not the sarcoplasm itself, the sarcolemma is the part that really retracts fluid. I believe if you do endurance or high repetitions, like that is, think of it as swelling up, right? So you do need place for that as well. By the way, guys, just remember when we do more reps, exercise is adaptation, right? A response is fast, adaptation is over a long term. But just remember this, right? If you are gonna do higher reps for not a longer time, what I mean is for duration of time, maybe a year, you've been training with higher reps. There is something that's called capillarization, right? More capillaries. So what's gonna happen is your body is gonna start to make more capillaries. That's gonna bring more blood flow to those areas. Also the nutrients as well, right? So that's an adaptation to high volume, but there's also adaptation to higher weight, or more weight, not higher weight, more weight, lower frequencies. I believe you should mix these things together, right? Not just stick to one type of exercise. Maybe you have like phases during the week, during the year, like seasons almost, right? This season I'm gonna focus on heavier weight. I won't really say like 4 reps or something like that. Also, I will always go for 8 to 12 or higher. But you always have to focus on form. And the thing is, if you look at the weightlifters and stuff, they do really heavy sets, right? Like one set where they will do as heavy as they can or whatever. I'm not too much into powerlifting. I do believe that contracts a lot of the myofibril part of the muscle fiber. That is the thick, dense muscles, right? So just think about these two things when you do train. All right, and if one doesn't work, if you're training low frequency, high intensity, it doesn't work, maybe change it up completely the opposite, right? And then if it's the other way around, then you just focus on decreasing the volume but increasing the intensity. And let me know if this helps, if you guys understand what I'm trying to say.